When we think about mentorship, we often have this idea in our minds that it is some esoteric idea where only people who have achieved a certain level of success or have certain accolades attributable to their name that can partake in this activity, which is quite interesting and was quite personal to me. Because you see, growing up, I found myself in a situation where all I saw around me were people who were struggling financially, people who didn't have, an ambitious outlook on life, but at the same time, I didn't have any view of what I wanted for the future, or I didn't know how to access a mentor or anything successful. So mentorship and success has to take on a more lateral approach. We have to stop looking at it as this incline where it's the haves and the have-nots. And it's this have-not person that's always just clenching up and begging and hoping to find a mentor from someone who's achieved success. We have to find success amongst ourselves. So in doing this, I wanted to challenge this idea of this mentorship. And I said, why can't the youth, why can't an inexperienced individual channel and mentor another? Because what is a mentor fundamentally? It's an individual, a friend who just wants to bring out the best in somebody else. And I think this is a very exciting idea, as it shows us that each and every one of us in this room can and must be a mentor. And in my youth program, Me, We, I focus on building mentors. I focus on me with the purpose of building a we. So what we do is we focus on two key questions. Who are you? No, really, who are you? Not where you went to school, not where you come from, but who are you at your core? How have those experiences shaped who you are? What emotions do you attach to the experiences that you have? We are often told that we must live passionately, follow your passion, follow what you love, but we are never told how to find what we love, how to find our passion. And we cannot find this in a university, in a work environment. We find this from our past experiences and from what we feel. This is very exciting to me. So I always work from this starting point. I help my mentees find out what are the key experiences in their life that they can draw what we call specialized knowledge from. Specialized knowledge gives the idea that that's knowledge that you have for yourself, that nobody else has and can experience for you. What do you want? Now that we've established who we are and where we come from and where we currently stand, it's important for us to have a vision for the future, a clear and compelling vision for the future. Where are we going? How does what we went through influence what we want? This is passionate living. And if you look at the spectrum, when you have who you are and what you want, there's a very significant gap in between. And what we often think about is that, we achieve success when we have those accolades, when we get that job, when we reach that level of financial security. However, that's a very limited view. It's important for us to feel successful in our pursuit of success. So I have redefined success, especially for the purpose of my mentees, to mean the following. Success is the active pursuit of a worthy ideal. It's important for you to understand that for as long as you actively engage in the pursuit of what you want the most, what brings out the fire in you the most, you should and must feel successful. And this is the role of a mentee, to catalyze and to facilitate the process from who you are and where you are to what you want. This is the idea. This is why I say I have a 100-year plan. The idea behind this is not that I want to be around necessarily 100 years from now, but it's because of chasing that dream of what I want to leave behind after I'm gone. Now, another person might feel that I cannot feel successful because if I'm chasing something that's far beyond my living years, then I should never feel successful. But if you redefine and look at the definition, it's the active pursuit of a worthy ideal. Therefore, to be successful, all you have to do is actively pursue your worthy ideal. So I want to tell you 2 stories of why mentorship is important. I want to tell you about 2 young men. On the one hand, we have Thembiso. Thembiso is a young man, very charismatic young man, but he's labeled a troublemaker. Talks a lot in class, a typical troublemaker, sits at the back of the class, always disrupting the class. So much so that he's always victimized by his teachers. One particular incident, the teacher stopped the lecture and he proceeded to publicly embarrass Thembiso in front of the class, telling him that he will never amount to anything and that should he become a leader or appointed as a school leader in the following year, he will publicly disrupt the prize-giving ceremony. Now, to understand the significance of this, we have to look at the domino effect. What happens next? Thembiso goes on, fortunately gets caught up with the wrong crowd, doesn't get to finish his tertiary education, and struggles with drug addiction. Now this leads to a host of problems, family problems, falling out with his mother and his brothers and sisters, and feels like a failure. On the other hand, we have a completely different outcome from the same situation. We have opulence. An individual who's very shy, keeps to himself, but is someone that latches on positivity, is always looking for the positive outcomes in life. Doesn't do so well at school, but everyone seems to like him. He has certain leadership skills, so he hones those leadership skills, and he makes it far enough to get to university and do well there and work for an amazing company. Thembiso, opulence, Lubisi, is the name of my biological brother. My brother struggled with drug addiction for the better part of 10 years. He struggled because of the situation that we found ourselves in as kids. We grew up in a household where it wasn't uncommon for my mother and father to be engaged in, public disputes and fights. This made it particularly tough for us because we grew up in a commune where everyone could hear and see what was going on. And without guidance, without the proper guidance, this leads the child to develop traits that they might not have necessarily had from the beginning. The drugs and all these things are just an escape from that reality. It's an expression of that pain. Or opulence, on the other hand, is the boy you see standing in front of you. From the same situation, I chose to latch on to as little positivity as I had growing up. I remember one incident where my father told me that I wouldn't amount to anything more than a drug addict. I had to push through. I found my mentors on the internet. YouTube, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins. These are people I latched onto for positivity. They kept me going. So I made a decision that I cannot allow this to happen. I cannot allow the millions and thousands of children who just need guidance, who just need a push in the right direction to be derailed and find themselves in situations where they are completely different from what they started out as. Situations where they can't even recognize their own potential anymore. Situations that are just hopeless for them. So I started this mentorship group as a life mission of mine, as understanding who I am. I fed off the pain, I fed off the frustration, and decided to create a new vision for myself, an inspired passion for myself, where I am committed to making sure that I leave no stone unturned. I mentor as many kids as I possibly can. It costs you nothing just to share some words of positivity. It costs you nothing just to lend a helping hand to someone in need. Buy them a book. Spend 2 hours of your time with them. Tell them about your stories, how amazing everything that you're doing is. It really helps. The domino effect is incredible. And my call to action here is to inspire you. No, it's to plead to you. It's to plead to you to please take the initiative to mentor every single child that you have, every single student that you see. These days, we don't have to go any further than our nearest tertiary institution for you to see the broken dreams, for you to see the frustration, the cries. We need to answer. They need you. We need you. I need you.